तव कथामृतं तप्तजीवनं कविभिरीडितं कल्मषापहं श्रवणमङ्गलं श्रीमदाततं भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः. Sri Ramakrishna, regaining the consciousness of the world, he sang himself leading the chorus. We have finished a few of the lines. Next line. The brothers who in return for blows offer to sinners Hari's love. Behold them drunk with Hari's love, who make the world drunk as well. The brothers who in return for blows offer to sinners Hari's love. We have heard this word pardoning all those who make mistakes and offering them protection, offering them their own love. And this we have commonly seen and heard even amidst the great souls of the world, great saints, and even prophets. But here is one that is extraordinarily, who is making, not pardoning a sinner, not redeeming a sinner, but bestowing upon them the divine love which makes them a saint who can save others. Saving others, other sinners, is one part. The other thing is to give them a status by which they can, to the extent that they can themselves be saints to save others. That is Hari's love, God's love. To be able to forget their body and mind and be merged, submerged in the divine love, where they totally identify with the ideal of their object and be ever immersed in it. This we see here in a new way happening, all things in a different level. To this philosopher's stone we hear Parasamani, which can convert iron into gold. If the philosopher's stone touches any iron, we see the iron becoming gold. But here it is not iron becoming gold, but iron becoming one more philosopher's stone that can convert other irons into gold. That is God's love, to bestow a person, a sinner, with that status of being able to love God and merge in God and be one with God by forgetting their own existence, and then be in the ecstasy of divine love and make others experience the same. So the two brothers and what are they? In return for their blows. How much of pain they bear. We first think anybody does anything for us or for our own safety, we wage a war, we fight, and then anybody hurting me, tit for tat, I have to hurt him. But to pardon is something great, and to redeem that soul is still greater, and make him a saint is the ultimate. So here we see the Nitai and the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, both are in the same status of giving that. The two brothers means they are brothers, the spiritual brothers. Behold, the two brothers have come, who once were Kanai and Balai of Brija. Kanai is referring to Kanaiya, the Krishna, and Balai is Balram, the two of Brija. Once they were, means the incarnation. The Lord has reincarnated as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and his eternal companion as if the Nityananda. They who would steal the butter out of the pots of the gopis' maid, that is Krishna, Kanai, and Balram. They were the one. Behold, the two brothers who have come, who once were Kanai and Balai of Braja, who would steal the butter out of the pots of the gopi maids. Behold, the two have come, who shatter all the rules of caste. They shatter the rules of caste, embracing everyone as brother, even the outcast shunned by men. For sacrilegious acts in early days, they used to outcast them. Now, we see even in those days the kings, and later on even the well-established kingdoms, we see the king trying to put into exile people who are to be punished, send them on exile, that is, make them leave the country and go away, like that. The outcasting also was there. Sending out of a country is exile, sending on exile. And here, sending out of a caste. Caste system was there. Means, even in small things you see, in some countries we see a person making repeated errors in driving. He is given certain number of times excuses, then finally his driving license itself is taken away, that he no more can drive in that country. So many times they give excuses, then finally they outcast from that profession. He can no more drive. Similarly, they see the person acting in a wrong way regarding the caste systems or religious performances. It happens in almost all ways, in all places, in different ways. Just like cancelling a driving license forever, he no more can drive. Like that, he cannot be in that caste, whatever suppose he is a warrior. He does certain blunders which we can be pardoned a few times and it never ends. It goes on continuing for long. Then they will see that he can no more be a warrior. He is outcast from the warrior, this one. Means all the rules and regulations pertaining to a status of a man must be observed. If I stand for elections and in the country or somewhere and I do certain things against the law, I'll be made not to stand for election anymore in my lifetime. It happens in all fields, so also in the caste systems too. Embracing everyone as brother, even those who have been outcast, taken away all their rights and privileges given to them, even them they embrace. Even the outcast shunned by men, who lose themselves in Hari's name, making the whole world mad, who are none other than Hari himself, and chant his hallowed name. Behold them, who saved from their sinful ways ruffians Jagai and Madai. At one time, Nityananda was beaten by a ruffian, by the ruffians Jagai and Madai, who later were converted to spiritual life by his love. So we see these extreme things happening in these things ordinary people, however great they are, cannot do. There is certain limits. Each person has his own limits to tolerate and bear. And nature has the main important principle of self-preservation. You have to preserve yourself. The cows are given horns to protect itself. The snake is given venom in the mouth to protect itself. The scorpion in its tail, the poison is there. And all the beings are provided with some means by which they protect themselves. So also, man has his tolerance limit to bear, then he revolts. But here we see it is not sattva rajatama working, and here we see them beyond all gunas. Tamas says, fight. When somebody is beating you, fight. Rajas says, run away. Sattva says, pardon. But beyond this, Guna says, seek their welfare. So here we see man raising not from human to divine, pardons. From divine to human, when it descends, it transforms. That's what we call avatara, as divine has come in the human form. Who lose in the Hari's name, making the whole world mad, who are none other than Hari himself, and has chant his hallowed name. Behold them who saved from their sinful ways of ruffians, the Jagai and Madai. See, it is their something like a profession and their nature. The nature, by nature, they are ruffians. How much of sin they might have committed in their life, unimaginable. Looting people, beating people, harming people, killing people, all these acquire, and in return, they have given them the highest status of becoming all of a sudden saints who love God and love people. Now, what happens to their sinful acts and tendencies? It is getting dissolved in the nature without any reaction. There is no the whole thing as if what all they have done is just erased. The karmas simply dissolve in the nature and go away without giving its return fruits. Otherwise, millions of years there might have been the time that they have to go on suffering lives after lives. The whole thing is, behold them who saved from their sinful ways. The ruffians, not only that, they would have committed much more and endlessly, because it is in their nature. Their possessed nature drives them. And here we see they are saved forever from that. They who cannot distinguish between a friend and an enemy, absolute equanimity, that all are same to him, a friend and a foe, no difference. How he treats, how he seeks the welfare of a friend, same way he knows he is enemy, he wants to harm him, but same love and same concern, same attitude as if he is a foe, not a foe, but a friend. Cannot distinguish between friend and an enemy. Behold the two brothers, Gaur and Nitai, who came again to save mankind. Time and again we see the whole thing. We cannot imagine what this land, India, is. As we study the ancient history and all that, we see commotions and things going on in the world when India is peacefully soaring to the heights of spiritual awareness. At the lowest status of fighting with each other is going on. I don't say there was no fights in India. Great wars like Mahabharata war was there. Ramayana war was there. And in the Puranas you will see the Devatas and the Rakshasas fighting constantly. But here the war is not between the things of possession, but is war between the righteousness and unrighteousness, dharma and adharma. War between dharma and adharma is different from war for the sake of material benefits and powers. This we see a uniqueness in our Indian land, and from time to time we see great saints appearing from ancient times. We can relate all these things, what happened in the past prehistoric period, where there is no mention of anything. The Indian glory and greatness was there, shining forth. These were the souls who came time and again to save all this. Again the master sang, "See how Nadia is shaking under the waves of Gauranga's love." Continued, and there is ... Sri Ramakrishna is singing. The words are not given. Again the master sang, "See how the Nadia is shaking under the waves of Gauranga's love." The love of the Lord is conquering everything that is in the world. A new direction it is giving to the society, to human race. You cannot imagine what would have been those days when these things happen. Just like when wars take place, what will be the huge destructive force working? We can see in our present contemporary period itself how the wars are destroying. And same way, opposite to it, there is the construction part of evolution of humanhood to the highest status of being divine. To be animal, to reach the lowest animalhood is war. And to raise to the highest divinehood is to love. The crowd with Master, we are in Pānihāti in Calcutta, in the Radha temple. What's happening, all this? There is a festival in which Ramakrishna has gone. The crowd with the Master in the center surged towards the temple of Radha-Krishna. Only a small number could enter. The rest stood outside the portal, jostled with one another to have a look at Sri Ramakrishna. In a mood of intoxication, he began to dance in the courtyard of the shrine. Every now and then his body stood transfixed in samadhi. Hundreds of people around him shouted the name of God, and thousands outside caught the strain and raised the cry with the full-throated voices. The echo traveled over the Ganges, striking a note in the hearts of people, in the boats on the holy river, and they too chanted the name of God. Look at a simple individual, uneducated person on this earth. Thousands and lakhs of people gather and whole eyes are fixed at him. Who is this? Who is this? Those who know, but those who know have that question, who is this? Has God come down? And we just now Belur Math in Calcutta, Howrah, when Thakur's Titi Puja goes on and there will be an open field jatra, that is drama, open theatre drama, on the subsequent Sunday, you can see the whole river, this one is filled with people, the inner area, and outside in the Ganges, hundreds of boats filled with people are watching. And it ends with the crackers blasting and varieties of things, play of the crackers, huge pictures flying into the air, giving the shining images. So many rockets, varieties of fountains made up of these crackers. And to see that, just we see so many things happening, so many people coming around. Happening that we see in the world. And imagine in those days how it would have been happening. When the kirtan was over, Mani Sen took Sri Ramakrishna and Navdeep Goswami into a room and served them with refreshments. Afterwards, Ram, Yam and other devotees were also served with prasad. When kirtan was over, Mani Sen, that is one who invited Sri Ramakrishna for the festival, took Sri Ramakrishna and Navdeep Goswami into the room and served them with refreshments. Afterwards, M and other devotees were also served with prasad. In the afternoon, the master was sitting in Mani Sen's drawing room with the devotees. Navadvip was also near him. Mani offered the carriage hire to Sri Ramakrishna. Pointing to Ram and others, the master said, "Why should they accept it from you? They earn money." He became engaged in conversation with Navadvip. Pointing to Ram and others, the master said, "Why should they accept it from you? Money is giving and they earn money." He became engaged in the conversation with Navadvip. Master, bhakti matured becomes bhava. The next mahabhava, then prema, and last of all is the attainment of God. Bhakti matures into bhava. Bhakti and bhava have lot of difference. Bhakti is where I maintain a duality with God. In prema, I try to merge myself in God. I want to become one with God. Like a river entering into ocean to become ocean. And in bhakti, I retain to serve. Bhakti is one-pointed. I retain the duality only with God. The rest of the world, rest of my relatives, my bodily maintenance, existence, everything is overlooked. No hatred, no dislike, but as a divine play, things are going on. His whole attention is towards the divine. So here we see the bhakti. Bhakti is where my whole bodily existence, my senses, my mind, my intellect, and above all, my heart is given to God, and it is pointing to God to serve. In bhava, even this bodily existence, senses, mind, everything, they start becoming stunned. They fail to act. Only heart becomes predominant and feels intense presence of God, where the world, not only world is missing, but his own existence is missing. This is bhava. Bhava where I've lost myself, I'm losing myself. And if I'm losing and entering into a higher level of consciousness, where I'm experiencing with all my refined existence, we call it samadhi. Savikalpa samadhi, nirvikalpa samadhi. Bhava is a prior state to samadhi, wherein he has lost himself in the intense presence of God, God's presence. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.